Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody is having an awesome week so far. Welcome Ahmed, hi William, Fuang, Lewis, Anna, Jeffrey, nice to see our members. Good to see everybody. Carolina, welcome to our chat moderator. Everybody, this is an IELTS speaking class and you will be speaking. We will use Zoom a little bit later on to interact with each other, and you will have a chance to volunteer, practice your speaking skills for the IELTS exam. The goal of this lesson is to give you tips, strategies, vocabulary, and methodologies to get those higher band scores on your next test. The topic of part 2, to get some of you thinking on this, is a project person. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes. They contain all of our materials, practice exams, and much, much more. Our academic website looks like this. It has this blue background, and all you need to do to become a premium student is click that big red button that's right there, join now. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime access, costs $40-50 US for lifetime. You don't have to pay a subscription. You get an app and you get much, much more. It's absolutely worth it. We help thousands of students every single week to improve their English and pass their IELTS. For the general version, go to gieltshelp.com. It's the green background, and again, just click that big red button and you are good to go. Students, premium students who have access to these websites, you have more live IELTS classes like this every week. You have classes tomorrow on Thursdays and Fridays. I already sent you the link for those, so if you're a premium student, you should see the link. If you don't see that link, send me an email and I will send you those links later on today, so you'll have them before the class starts tomorrow. It's at the same time as this class. All right, I see lots of hellos in the chat. Hi Tarun, Hassan, Ayadeji, Utam, good to have all of you here. Students, the apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. The apps will link to your websites for more IELTS practice and study. Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And emails, if you have questions, send them to adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. I will get those emails and reply to you usually within 24 to 48 hours. Okay. Trambach says, hello Adrian, I just received my IELTS score today. I received a 7 in speaking and 7 overall. That's great. That's a great way to start this class, Tran. Tran, can you send me a testimonial to my email when you get the chance? Tran just wrote this in the chat and I want to share that with everybody. I think it's great news. It's positive news. I love positive news. For me, it's 6:30 in the morning, and positive news it's my morning coffee. Tran, congratulations. Thumbs up. That's awesome. I'm happy we could help you there. That's great. Okay, everybody. So again, right now it's speaking. Tomorrow it's reading for the premium users on Zoom, and then speaking again on Zoom on Friday. Let's do this. For those of you who are not familiar with our YouTube channel, we have lots and lots of videos that come out. This one came out not long ago. It's a speaking video. Check that out when you have the chance. Okay, everyone. So here we go. The IELTS speaking exam. It's 12 to 15 minutes. Oftentimes it's somewhere in between, like 13, 14 minutes. And you meet with an examiner. It's face-to-face or through a computer. And you show up early to your exam, 1 hour before. That's a very important tip. Show up early. Practice with other candidates. Think in English, speak in English before you start. Do not walk into your IELTS exam speaking another language just before you begin the test. That is a bad idea. Okay, so speak English before your test. Okay, then you meet with the examiner, and the examiner will get right into it. They've got 12 to 15 minutes. They're not an English teacher, they're an examiner. Some of them were English teachers in the past, some of them not. Some of them never taught English in their lives. They're just there to measure your English proficiency. And that's not natural. I'm going to start with this big one today. Don't just be natural. In IELTS speaking, I really don't like that advice that some people are giving on the internet and other places, saying just be natural. If you're natural, you're going for a band 6. Okay, if you're being just an everyday natural, you're going for a band 6. IELTS is a professional exam. It's testing people for going to school, for being doctors, lawyers, and so on. You have to use your best English, okay? And I know some of you are like, well, that's, people say be natural. They don't mean like be casual. They just say like, don't try to copy things. Yeah, that's different, right? So you must show your best English. Okay, so when we say natural, natural does not mean casual, and that's the problem. A lot of people confuse that with casual. It just means don't use templates and popular phrases that are memorized. Okay. All right, so that's what it means, like, to be natural. So I'm really careful to say, like, don't be natural, because I think a lot of people confuse natural with casual, and it's not. So be really careful about that, okay? And here's a good way to recognize that right away. So you go into the exam, and the examiner says, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Let's begin. May I see your identification? Now, everybody, this is a speaking, so make sure you speak and repeat. Okay, it's a great way to improve. So copy what I say, copy how I say it. Okay. May I see your identification? Yes, certainly. Oh, yes, absolutely. Here is my passport that I had used to register. Please take a look. Okay, that's natural and professional. I would absolutely say that in a natural professional situation, like in an IELTS exam. Yeah, sure. That's casual. Okay, that's a band 6. Okay, that's a band 9 approach. Okay, even though they're not technically marking you for that, that's the difference. Okay. Iadeji says, gladly, here's my passport I had used to register for this exam. Please take a look. Okay. That's good. Iadeji, I like it. Okay. Single and Savvy says, yes, gladly. This is the passport I registered with for the exam. Please take a look. Yeah, it's good. Okay. All right. And then the next question is, what is your full name? My given names are Franklin Alexander, and my surname is McKinley. I prefer to go by Alex. Okay. All right. So again, full name, it's professional. I tell the listener, the examiner in this case, my given names. They'll appear in my passport when I'm showing them. And then my surname, that's my family name. And then I tell the examiner what I like to be called. One way I can say that is I can say I prefer to go by Alex. Okay? I'm just making that up. As many of you know, my name is Adrian, but just giving you some variants, making it spicy. All right, so again, just repeat. What is your full name? My given names are Franklin, Alexander, and my surname is McKinley. I prefer to go by Alex. Okay, and then they will ask you some questions here. Okay, Jeffrey, let's see what you have. Jeffrey says, my surname is Jeffrey and my given name is Al-Farizi. Please refer to me as Jeffrey. Interesting. I would have guessed the other way. I would have thought your surname is Al-Farizi and I would have thought your given name is Jeffrey, but okay. All right. And then the examiner might ask, how are you feeling today? And if I were in the IELTS exam, I would say, well, right now, I feel both excited and a bit anxious. I'm hoping to get at least a band 8 in my speaking, and I'm nervous because I haven't done a formal exam since high school. Okay, so if you ask me during the IELTS exam, that's probably what I would say. So, well, right now I feel both excited and a bit anxious. I'm hoping to get at least a band 8 in my speaking, and I'm nervous because I haven't done a formal exam since high school. Just completely not true. I've done lots of formal exams since then, but it's okay. IELTS is not about the truth. IELTS is just about good answers. Lois, I see you're kind of in the same boat. Again, students, remember to repeat here. So Lois, our longtime member, says, I'm filled with excitement today. Let me start that again, Lois. I'm filled with excitement as today is my first time taking the IELTS exam. Feeling confident, I made my way this morning to the exam center 1 hour before my speaking schedule to get some practice with other candidates. I love it. Lois, I love it. Okay, you're reminding people to go to the IELTS exam early and practice, because that will also build confidence. Smart. Kevin's in the class as well. Kevin, welcome. Kevin's a long-time member as well. Kevin says, I'm feeling quite stressed today as there is a lot riding on this exam. I need to hit band 9 overall with no component score under 8 to win a full scholarship to pursue my PhD in the UK. Love it. Okay. There's a really nice idiom here, everybody. Kevin's great with his vocabulary. A lot riding on. Okay. Riding on means depends. When you have this idiom, it's an idiomatic expression. Riding on means depends. Okay. And then there's another one. Now with idioms, be very careful, students. Kevin is very good with these, and Kevin always makes sure that he's using them correctly and naturally. It's the only way you can use them in the IELTS, otherwise it will hurt your score. Never force idioms. To hit here means to achieve. Okay, so again, everybody, look at this one. I'm feeling quite stressed today as there's a lot riding on this exam. I need to hit band 9 overall with no component score under 8 to win a full scholarship to pursue my PhD in the UK. Very nice. Again, students, you don't need to start that way. You can start a lot simpler. Just make sure you're always answering, explaining, and giving examples. Then the examiner will introduce topic 1. For part 1, they'll say, let's talk about paper and computer. How often do you write on paper? When you get this how often, think quality and quantity. I frequently write on paper. I would say at least 10 times a day. I take notes either in a notebook or on post-it papers to keep track of my tasks and for daily reminders. I just made a shopping list on paper this morning. Okay, so there you go. That's a clear answer with explanation. Example. Just repeat, everybody. I frequently write on paper. I would say at least 10 times a day. I take notes either in a notebook or on post-it papers to keep track of my tasks and for daily reminders. I just made a shopping list on paper this morning. Okay, Anna says, I write on paper every single day because I'm very good at handwriting and it's quite simple for me to write by hand. Okay, you're kind of going around and around there, Anna. It's quite simple for me to write by hand. I would probably take that out and just include an example. Like today I wrote at least 5 notes and 2 documents by hand. One for sketching an agenda for an upcoming meeting. Okay, so that would be better. Okay, rather than being redundant or repetitive, think of an example. Okay, so here, I write on paper every single day because I'm very good at handwriting. Today I wrote at least 5 notes and 2 documents by hand, one for sketching an agenda for an upcoming meeting. Okay. All right, and then those questions get more and more difficult. Just repeat after me. We will practice these shortly via Zoom. What is better about writing on a computer? Okay, think about that. And again, just repeat questions. It's good to repeat questions, everybody. When is a paper more useful than a computer for writing? Do you like to read on paper or from the computer? Why? If you had to write a book, would you choose to do it on paper or with a computer? Why? Has the way people write changed because of the computer? In what way? Let's answer this last one, just for a bit more practice before we get to part 2. Yes, it has. I would say the computer has revolutionized the way that people write. Using all fingers elicits a different type of thinking than writing with one hand, simply for the fact that it is activating different neural pathways in both hemispheres of the brain. I certainly feel different thoughts when I write by computer versus on paper. Okay? I just came up with that. Yeah, some of you are like, well, yeah, but you're a psychologist. Sure, so I use my knowledge. Can you say that simpler? Can you say a different answer? Can you still get a band 9? Absolutely. Okay? You don't have to write like this. You don't have to speak like this. If you're a psychologist, you can. Okay? So notice the present perfect. Right away I go, yes, it has. Boom, I acknowledge that present perfect. Computers have, or the computer has, revolutionized. Boom, present perfect again. Okay. So yes, it has. The computer has revolutionized the way that people write. Using all fingers elicits a different type of thinking than writing with one hand, simply for the fact that it is activating different neural pathways in both hemispheres of the brain. The one side of the brain is called your hemisphere. We also use that for the planet. The northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere. I'm in the northern hemisphere in Canada. Carolina is in the southern hemisphere. Same with Lewis in Carolina and Argentina, Lewis in New Zealand, right? So north hemisphere, south hemisphere for the earth, and for the brain it's left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Believe it or not, there is a whole world inside your head. Maybe a whole universe. All right, students, if you're liking these tips so far and you want to join the second speaking class this week on Friday from Zoom, you do need to be a premium student. You can become a premium student by joining at aehelp.com, clicking that big red button, and then you'll have access to all of our content, including over 200 videos, more than 120 speaking interview samples with me and other candidates from around the world. Carolina, if you're still with us, you can maybe put that link in there for those ambitious students who want to get that premium version. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com. There you go. All right, so part 1 ends. Thank you, Carolina. Part 1 ends, and then part 2 begins. In this part, the examiner says that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these, think about your answers, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. You can take notes in this 1 minute preparation time if you wish. Is that clear? And you'll say, 100%. It's a common saying these days, and you can be a little bit cheeky, a little bit, casual in this sense, but don't be casual from the beginning. Be professional. Remember what I said, right? So the examiner will say, talk about a person you worked on a project with. All right. I'm sure you all have. I would have trouble believing that you've never worked on a project with another person. So first you read the questions. Let's do that together. Talk about a person you worked on a project with. Who is this person? What was the project? What did they do on the project? Would you work on a project with this person? Why or why not? Okay. Now, you read the question. Great. First, you realize, okay, I'm talking about a person and kind of an event as well, right? The person, you talk about their appearance. What do they look like? You talk about their personality plus their actions. Okay? So that's how you describe a person. Now, an event you describe by giving the time. Well, description. What is the event? The time, the location, the people, the activities, and your experience. Okay? That's what you do. All right? So that's how you do it. And now you combine it. So you take these and you put it into the context of these questions, and you're doing a great job. Okay, that's how you do it. So in your next step, you think about 2 or 3 ideas. So step 3. Now, if I'm in the IELTS exam and I think about projects, I would think of school, so school days. Okay. I would think of my work, what kind of projects I have there. And I would also think of my hobbies and what kind of projects I have there. And then I would remember that, okay, for school days, I worked on a presentation about emus, my friend Jason. Okay. For my work, I would think about a video editing project for running in Venice with my good friend and colleague Carolina. Okay. And then that kind of feeds into my hobbies. For my hobbies, I worked on a project which was a relay race in 2022 with my good friend Kavita. Okay. So this is quickly happening, right? Because I first recognized that there are different situations where we have projects in life, and then I think about, okay, well, I've worked on a lot of projects. Those are some of them. And then I pick one. So then I go, okay, I'm going to talk about the Oak Bay Relay Race in 2022. Okay, so Kavita is the person, and the Oak Bay Relay Race is the event. Okay, now for my notes, as I'm going through step 4 here, okay, I'm just going through these. So Kavita's appearance, she's very charismatic, okay, big smile. So she's petite, about 150 centimeters, super fit, athletic, long, dark hair, dark eyes, ethnicity is India. Okay. She is, her personality, very athletic. She can run 100 kilometers, no joke. She can do a marathon, or sorry, ultra marathon. Okay. She's hardworking. She's a single mom. Runs probably 100K each week. Okay. She's organized. All right. So manages the team members. Okay. So here again, I'm just going through her appearance, her personality, and I'm always backing up personality with action. So whenever I say that, you know, she is this way, then I back that up with action. And that's the trick, quote unquote, when you're talking about a person, is to make sure that you're backing up all of those personalities by actions. Okay. She's positive, likes telling jokes, and smiling all the time. Okay. So these are her personalities backed up by actions. Okay. Now, combining that with the Oak Bay event, it was 2022 May. So the time, okay, it was a 4-man relay. That was 21.5 5 kilometers. Okay. There was registration, training. Okay. Shirts and shoes, custom shirts and shoes. All right. And then we placed 6th. I think we were 6th. Okay. This is, by the way, this is a true story. If you want to know this really happened, yes. Is this a real person? Yes. In this case, yes. You don't have to tell the truth, but in this case, it's all yeses. Okay. And so that's step 4. And now in step 5, I get my first sentence ready. So in this case, my first sentence would be, a lovely person I had the pleasure of working on a project with in 2022 is Kavita. She has been a friend of mine for about 4 years, and we decided to make a running team for the Oak Bay Half Marathon that takes place annually in Victoria, British Columbia, each year in the month of May. Okay. So the first sentence is this one here. This is the one I would prepare. The rest of that is just simply once the examiner starts me. So the examiner says, okay, Adrian, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. And then I would say, a lovely person I had the pleasure of working on a project with in 2022 is Kavita. She has been a friend of mine for about 4 years, and we decided to make a running team for the Oak Bay Half Marathon that takes place each year in Victoria in the month of May. Kavita is a petite person, about 150 centimeters tall, maybe 45 kilograms. She has long black hair. She's ethnically from India, and she's got big dark eyes. She's extremely fit, as she's very athletic. Kavita has a great personality and a great person to work on a project with. She's extremely hardworking. Not only is she a single mom, but she also has full-time employment and still exercises for at least a couple hours each day. Notice all those connections, right? And I'm always focusing on the topic of project, working on a project. Okay, so I keep going in that same spirit for that 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay. All right. I see that some of you have already started going, well, Adrian, that's great. I'm going to do this as well. Lewis is here. Okay. Doing it. And this is what you should be doing. Take a leaf from Lewis and check out what Lewis is doing. Lewis says, community cleaning with Mr. Lim. Mr. Lim's 188 centimeters, quite muscular. He's a gym buff, outgoing and collaborative, helping me to complete my community cleaning initiative. And then the story, the first time participating, feeling, action, thoughts, and storyline. Good. So Lewis, good. The storyline, instead of writing that down, just write the storyline like I'm showing you, right? But that's good. You've got a great start. Okay, I love it. Okay, I love it. And I want to give you a chance to practice this. So we're going to do that through Zoom, okay? Because I've been speaking lots, and I know I promised you, and I'm keeping true to my word, you're going to get to speak now by volunteering through Zoom. So here's the Zoom link, everybody in the chat. I'm going to start up that session now. Just join Zoom. If you don't have it, you might need to download it. I will continue using my camera here on YouTube. You can use your camera in Zoom if you'd like to show your beautiful selves to the world. Just be aware that you're using your camera. I'm not turning my camera on here. I'm letting you do that. I can't use my camera in two places. In Zoom, everybody, just make sure that you are aware of the reactions. You can raise your hand, you can lower your hand, you can put your thumb up. I wonder if you can, no, it just gives you way more reactions. So yeah, again, in the reactions, you can clap, you can do thumbs up, you can laugh, okay? Lots that you can do there. We already have 8 people in. Great. Ayadeji, Olawunmi, Fatime, Anna, Fuang, Rajendra, William, Rose. Lovely. Let's get all of you in here. Let me get my headset on and then I'll mute all of you, okay, so we don't have a lot of clamor. All right, students, welcome into the Zoom meeting. Okay, if you'd like to volunteer, just put up your hand and then that way I can see that you're volunteering. Okay. Okay. All right. Again, I'll let some more people in here. Admit all. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. Nice. Now we're getting everybody into the class. Perfect. Fong, your cat picture. Are you kidding me? That's so adorable. Why is that cat so fat and why does it have a bow tie, Fong? Okay. Let's start with William. Let me get William to unmute. William, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Absolutely. I'm doing good, William. William, did you booked a speaking interview with me,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow for you.
Yeah, tomorrow for me. Right. Yeah, no, it's on my radar. I just have to send you the invite, but it's happening. So make sure you check, even if it's just before.
Sure.
Okay? All right. By the way, what William and I are talking about is on the website. There's an option for you to book a full speaking interview lesson with me with feedback. So William's doing that tomorrow. That's cool, William. I'm looking forward to it. I know it was hard to figure out the time zone there, but we made it work by the sounds of it. So it's all good. Okay, let's do this, William. Let's jump in and it'll be great to kind of practice for you right now. Are you ready?
Yeah, okay.
All right, so welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. Let's begin. May I see your identification?
Yes, certainly. Here is the information that I used to register my exam with. Please take a look.
What is your full name?
My full name is William Wijaya, but my given name is William. Please call me by my given name, William.
Okay, William. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What helps you to relax?
The thing that helps me to relax is listening to music, or if I cannot listen to music at that very moment, I'll just take a deep breath and slowly release it.
Let's talk about paper and computer. What is better about writing on a computer?
There's a lot of advantages of writing in computer. One of the advantages are you don't need to worry about your handwriting. Especially for me, my handwriting looks like someone that is trying to learn to write for the first time. Just yesterday, I had to write about an essay on a climate change, and fortunately I can write it, I can type it in, so my examiner don't need to worry about my handwriting.
If you had to write a book, would you choose to do it on paper or with a computer? Why?
If I were given a chance to write a book, I'll definitely uh pay to type it in, because as I say, my handwriting is not very good, so I wouldn't need to worry about it, and it will be much faster to write it on computer, since I can just type it in while thinking about it, and I can proofread it afterwards.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there and give you some feedback. William, first of all, that is fantastic. I have to say, like, really, really good job. I would say that so far for your part one, that would be like a band 8. So very good. That is simply
Oh,
put, like the examiner here would be thinking like that's very good. Okay. Now everybody keep in mind, part one is the easiest part, right?
yeah.
So your final score comes from your whole performance, not just part one. But having said that, band 8 for part one is fantastic, okay? So it was very good. Your fluency so far is a band 9, in my opinion. I think you're very fluent. I was typing quite quickly and had no chance to keep up. So that was really good. You gave very good information. You used the question. So you said, if I were given a chance to write a book, I really liked how you just focused in on the question and made sure to use it. You gave a very accurate answer, explanation, and then immediately example. So clearly you're practicing, you're learning the materials, and you're learning good communication skills. That was fantastic. A couple of tips to improve, William. I mean, everybody can improve their communication skills. Everybody. It's a lifelong process. So for the first couple of questions, that was great. Don't rush that one with the "Can I see your passport?" It just you can probably go a little bit slower and focus on really just clear English. But when I asked you what helps you to relax, you said the thing that helps me to relax, and I know it's so easy to get that word "thing" slipping into our speech, but you really want to eliminate that from your vocabulary. So instead of saying the thing, I would say the activity. Any word other than thing and stuff will sound better. So any noun will sound better. So just repeat after me. The activity that helps me to relax is listening to music. When that's not possible, I take a deep breath and let it out slowly.
The activity that helps me to relax is listening to music, and if that's not possible, I'll take a deep breath and release it slowly.
Lovely, lovely answer. Okay. Then I asked you what is better about writing on a computer, and you gave a good answer. I mean, there was a little bit of missing vocabulary, so I would say, your vocabulary was, let's say, like a band 8 for these questions so far. Why? Well, because in certain contexts, the examiner is looking for some very specific vocabulary. And I understood very clearly what you were talking about, and I think it was great English. However, if we're really being picky and professional, were a couple of words that should have appeared when you were explaining your handwriting skills and why you prefer a computer. Our handwriting skill and how pretty or how nice our handwriting looks. Do you know what that's called? There's a word for that. Does anybody know what that's called in the chat?
Need?
It starts with a P. It's a bit of a longer word. It starts, actually, I'll give you the first part of that word. It starts with pen.
Uh, I have no idea.
No idea. That's fine. And that's what I mean. Like a band 9 candidate, I would expect them to know that word. Okay. It's called penmanship.
Oh.
Okay. Your penmanship is your skill to write beautifully, let's say, to write nicely. Okay. It's called penmanship. Fari Boris put it into the chat there just at the same time as me. So it's called penmanship. When we're not able to read, okay, so penmanship is the skill of writing, and if I'm not able to read writing, there's a word for that. Do you know what it is? When a person is not able to read one's writing.
Unreadable?
It's not unreadable. Nice try. Does anybody know what that's called? It's not pencil stroke, Ugulhan. I don't think that's what... there's a word for that. It starts with an I.
I.
No. So, if you can't read, here, I'll give you a hint. If you can't read, it's illiterate if you can't read, Abdul, but that's different. So, there you go, Aditya. I was going to say illegible. Very nice. It's illegible. I knew somebody would get it. I wanted to give it a chance this time. Aditya said it's illegible. So
Illegible.
yeah, so if I can't read your writing, it's illegible. So the answer here would be something like, it is better, and if you can read it, it's legible. Okay, it is better to write on a computer because it's always legible, as opposed to handwriting, especially mine, which is illegible. Okay, I have terrible penmanship. My writing looks like chicken scratch. Is the expression. Okay. All right. So that's kind of like the band 9 level vocabulary that they're looking for in that context, okay? Do you want to try to repeat that after me, everybody? So it is better to write on a computer because it's always legible as opposed to handwriting, especially mine, which is illegible.
It is better to write on a computer because it is always legible as opposed to handwriting, especially mine, which is illegible.
I have terrible penmanship. My writing looks like chicken scratch.
I have terrible penmanship. My handwriting looks like chicken scratch.
So, and again, for those of you who have exams coming up, William, I know you have exams coming up. Don't worry about vocabulary. You can't improve from a band 8 to a band 9 vocabulary in a few weeks or even a month. You need like months and months of reading, studying, learning, practicing to make that improvement. So just do what you're doing, William. I think what you're doing is fantastic. And if you keep doing that for part 2 and part 3, you'll get like at least close to a band 8. And I think that's awesome. So I'll see you tomorrow and we'll practice more, okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thanks for volunteering, William.
Thanks for having me, mister.
Okay. Bye, William. All right. Give William a thumbs up. That's a great start. And let me just let your peers in here. I think there's more students in here. Fantastic. Yeah, great job, William. Good job. So lots of new vocabulary there. Penmanship. Okay. Legible. Illegible. Illiterate means can't read. Okay, it doesn't mean can't read the writing. It means a person who cannot read. That's a person who's illiterate. Okay. All right. So some great vocabulary there. Well done. Okay. All right. Let's take another volunteer. Let's see who we have going on. Again, everybody, just raise your hand if you'd like to have a conversation with me. We're going to go on to part 2. Let's ask Fatime to unmute here. Fatime, are you there?
Hey, sir.
Hi, Fatime. How are you?
Fine, thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking as well.
I never thought you'd choose me for a volunteer.
Never.
I just raised my hand.
Never say never, right? Never say never.
Exactly.
You never know. Okay, Fatime, can you tell us why are you doing the IELTS exam?
Well, I'm aiming to apply for a master education in Italy, and I need a band 6.5.
Okay, well, I can tell you right now, just from your answer, that I think your speaking will be at least a 6.5. So that's good.
I hope so.
That's the good news. The writing is tricky, so make sure you really pay attention to those essays. So that's actually the part where a lot of people have a challenge, is the writing. But I think your speaking will be fine. Let's do part 2. Were you in the class earlier when I explained how to do part 2?
My connection was so weak, so I kind of lost that part, but we can give it a try.
Okay, sure. So remember, in this case, you're talking about a person and an event, right? The person that you did the project with, that's the main focus. And then the event is a secondary focus, the project that you did with that person. You want to answer all the questions here. Who is this person? What was the project? What did they do on the project? Would you work on a project with this person again? Why or why not? So make sure you answer all of those. Within that, really follow that pattern of, okay, briefly explain what the person looks like so we can kind of picture this person. And then when you give us a personality, like you say they're very punctual, then follow that with action. So my friend Nora is very punctual. She showed up to all of our meetings 5 minutes before they started, and this really helped us to be productive, right? So I'm always backing it up with action, the personality. So that's what you're focusing on, and then always come back to that concept of project, working on this project. Okay, that's what you want to keep in mind. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to start you off. Do you have a person and a project in mind?
I remember being a teammate with my friend Sarah
Okay,
at
just a sec.
university.
Just a sec. I'm going to start you off. That was just a question before we begin.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I'm going to start you off. But okay, the answer then is yes. You have a person in mind and a project in mind. Okay, good. All right, let me start you off. So that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. Talk about a person you worked on a project with. Your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay, so I had the chance to work as a teammate with my friend Sarah during university, and during my bachelor, it was in 2020, and we had to team up with someone that we knew completely because it was a hard project. We used to make a concrete sample to test it. So I chose my friend Sarah because she's so flexible, and always I can get access to her. And we used to go to laboratory and practice and make some mixture of concrete. And so the project was to preparing this concrete sample in 2 weeks. And at the end of the day, when we presented our sample, it could hit 8,000 Pascal, which was really great and cracked at that force. So we could get a good score. And I always want to be a teammate to her again if I had the chance, because she helped me a lot in this project. And yeah, just this.
Okay, your time is up. I will stop you there. And we will now go on to part 3. All right, Fatime, first of all, great job. Okay, so I have a clear idea of the project. I have a clear idea of your friend Sarah that you worked on this with in your bachelor's. Was this for a chemistry class or a physics class? What kind of a class was this for?
So the course was kind of a functional course, like we just went to the laboratory, but it was about concrete. Like we passed lots of courses about concrete because my major is civil engineering. And
okay, so
I got disconnected, I guess.
no, you're good. You're good. Fatime, you're good. I can hear you. I can hear you. I actually hear you quite well. So all is good on my side. So Fatime, and everybody, your examiner is not you. Okay, so you have to speak to them with good detail and clear detail. Okay. You gave me a lot of information, Fatime, and I had to kind of guess much of this information based on these big pieces that you were giving me. Okay. So what you want to do is think about your audience as the general public. They don't know you. Okay. So you have to go a little bit more step by step. You have to say, I had a chance to work as a teammate with my friend Sarah in our civil engineering curriculum at the University of for a project on concrete. The project was to make concrete that's very strong. And Sarah is a great individual. What does Sarah look like, Fatime?
In presence, well, I don't know how to say because it's just normal. Like
She's normal. Okay. All
I
right.
can say
have to
tall
laugh.
or short. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Brown.
Sarah, if you're listening out there, you're normal. All right. Okay.
I mean, any special feature to point out?
Yeah,
Maybe I should do this.
we're all special, Fatime. We're all special. So, but no, if we're average height, then we just say average height, average weight. She's 160 centimeters,
160.
maybe 50 kilograms, long dark hair, just a big beautiful smile, and that's enough. Okay, if you tell
Did I
me,
say all of this?
yeah, it's just a
in
sentence.
this session?
Yeah, yeah. It's she's the person you worked on the project with. I want to see her. When you're telling me about this person, and when you're telling me what you did with her and what she did, she wrote the report. She was mixing all the concrete while I was pouring in the ingredients. I want to see her. I want to see what she looks like. Okay, so it helps me. Good narrators, good storytellers always pay attention to describing the characters in their books, in their movies, in their poems, because humans are visual. And yes, in the speaking section, to take 10 seconds of the 120 seconds to give me that visual, absolutely, it's a good idea.
I'm just afraid. Yeah, I see, but I'm just afraid to run out of time. I mean, maybe
Don't
too
spend
much
lots of
information.
time. Time me. I mean, look at the time. Look how much time. Sarah, a good friend of mine, she's average height, average weight, 160 centimeters, maybe 45 kilograms, and just a big, beautiful smile. It's maybe 10 seconds. Okay, but it is just it was just enough to give me a visual, right? So just that 10 seconds. Okay. Fari
Yeah,
Boris says,
don't
a
have-
stout lady with a jolly smile. I'm not sure, Fari Boris, that's somebody else, but maybe. All right. So yeah, present the person, Fatime, okay? Objects, locations, the same. So students, if you're talking about an object for part 2, or if you're talking about a location, describe what it looks like, okay? Humans are visual, right? It will definitely help your
Yeah.
score, right? Okay, so Fatima, pay attention to those details. Okay, practice. You're doing great. You'll get 6.5, no problem for your speaking. I think your speaking, if I had to judge, I would say that was like a band 7.5 response. But I could possibly give you more, maybe even an 8.5, as long as you make it more connected with more details, so I have greater clarity. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll
So
keep
your
it in mind.
yeah, so your focus is on coherence. That's your area of weakness right now, is a more coherent, structured
That's
response.
because
Okay.
I get anxious when I am kind of in kind of these situations, an exam or in front of others. Makes me very anxious, so I lose my mind. I distract a lot.
Repeat after me. I'm anxious when I'm put on the spot.
I'm anxious when I'm put on a spot.
Yeah, I'm anxious when I'm put on the spot. Okay, just one more time. I'm anxious when I'm put on the spot.
I'm anxious when I'm put on spot.
On the spot.
On the spot. Sorry, forgot the.
It's an important one in that expression. With expressions, you can't eliminate words. They become very different if you do. So it has to be, I'm anxious when I'm put on the spot. One last time, Fatime?
Sorry. I thought you're writing. I'm anxious when I'm. I forgot. Put on a spot. On the
Put
spot.
on,
I'm
yes,
anxious.
I'll say it one more time. I'm anxious when I'm put on the spot.
I'm anxious when I'm put on the spot.
Okay, good. Yeah, a lot of people are. I agree, 100%. Fatime, nevertheless, you did great. You volunteered. You got picked. You were here. Okay, so that was great. Come back
Yeah.
again, okay?
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, Fatime.
Bye for now.
All right, everybody. So, that was Fatime. Let's give Fatime a thumbs up. And students, I just noticed I ran out of time and I didn't have time for part 3 today, and only a couple of volunteers. But that's kind of how it goes with our 1 hour class. So students who are in here, just come back next time. Please volunteer. But for those of you who are premium users, you have a full Zoom class tomorrow, or sorry, you have a full Zoom class tomorrow that's reading, and you'll have lots of chances to volunteer and speak and read. And then on Friday, you'll have a full speaking class, and you'll have lots of chances to speak, read, and volunteer. I hope that you really had a good time and you learned a lot of vocabulary and got some good speaking practice in with repetition, got some good ideas on what you need to do for your IELTS test. Okay. And I look forward to seeing our premium students tomorrow. If you did not get your links for those premium classes, let me know and I'll check into it. And have a lovely rest of your day. You're all amazing people and you're all unique, even if we kind of are average height and average weight. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world today. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Bye, everybody.